Hi, how are you both doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm better since I'm talking to you all, and I've watched this, funny, hilarious, but also heartwarming movie. I really, really enjoyed it so much.
Thank you.
First off, I know both of you are producers on this project, and your production companies are behind it as well. How is your Cordially Invited kind of indicative of the projects that you think are important to bring to the forefront, especially considering the time that we're in right now?
That's such a good question, because we were just talking about how well our companies work together. So obviously they're the golden standard for comedy, Gloria Sanchez. They have so many people who want to work with them. And then Hello Sunshine, we really focused on female creators and female storytelling. So it was really important to us that we had deep emotional characters that were women that were at the center of the story. So it was kind of this beautiful mix of the best comedy writers. Nick Stoller is just this, I think you say auteur.
I would say that.
Yeah, he's a writer-director, but some people say auteur. And
Or auteur? Auteur.
I love that word, regardless.
Google it. Google it.
Google it.
But it was just a really nice blend of the two companies.
When I was watching this movie, I thought that there were so many times where I thought that Jim and Margot were going to come to an agreement, and I was like, okay, everything is good, and like the next scene would be another wrench thrown in like the harmony, so to speak. So how do you think this film, because I think that the concept itself is not, it's pretty familiar, a wedding, comedy, romance in between. But I think there's something fresh about this one in particular. So what about this project do you think kind of is outside the box of what you would expect a romantic comedy film set at a wedding?
Somewhat what you describe. It's comfort food in some ways, and yet within that there's ingredients that you aren't going to expect to taste. Right? There's like a little chili paste in there.
Tamari.
Tamari. Yeah, and I think Nick Stoller does such a great job of like spreading out creating the tension as long as he can throughout it, which, like to your point, it's surprising that you think maybe we're going to make amends, but no, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
And then just goes up another level.
Yeah.
And I'll also say there's unexpected visitors as well. Your characters are very different, but very similar in a lot of ways that they may not even realize when they first meet each other.
Yeah.
And then even in the relationship with Margot's sister and Jim's daughter, I think that even those relationships seem different, but at the heart of it, they're kind of similar because they're still trying to figure out where they fit in this person's life, or in the grand scheme of things, their family. So how do you think these characters are kind of able to relate to one another despite their differences because of these kind of fractured, not completely fractured, but they're kind of, these characters, they think that they're fractured, and how they kind of help each other on the road to healing?
I think they do have a similarity, our characters, because they're both busy doing and creating and controlling and making sure everything's perfect for this loved one, but meanwhile they're just afraid of being alone. Sometimes marriages signify a complete shift in the relationship dynamics, and I think both of our characters really relate to that one scene in the movie, and I think that's what you think we're gonna be like, oh, and then it just gets worse.
Right. and they're both dealing with being honest with Jim being honest with his daughter, Margot choosing to be honest with her family finally and having it backfire on her. And then they're both on these islands where they're like, wait, how did we get here? And then they point out honesty with each other, and that becomes ultimately a bonding point for them.
Yeah, it's so hard to watch at some points because these characters have good intentions, and then somehow even with the one scene, it's I was even on Jim's side. I was like, yeah, he's telling the truth. Then things unfold. I'm like, wait, it's actually not how we thought it would be. So I think that these characters really have good intentions, and then sometimes it's just sometimes honesty doesn't bring out the expected results.
Yeah, it gets away. It gets away from both of them, despite they want to. Margot wants to please her sister, and Jim wants to please his daughter, and it just gets away.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Coincidentally enough, I think the last time I spoke to you both we were both doing Apple TV projects. Like, coincidentally, now
Oh.
you're both working together. Because I think it was around the same time that you were doing Morning Show and you were doing The Street Next
Street
Door.
Next Door.
And then now, years later, you're working on a film together here at Amazon MGM. What was it like being able to work with one another on this project?
So easy, and like we'd known each other for a long time. It had a nice ease to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for chatting with me, and I cannot wait for more people to see this film, and I hope they laugh as much as I did.
I'm so glad.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.